Pieces of the fabled Cathedral of St. Mark in Venice. Corroded, crumbling. Broken off so they won't fall off and injure someone. Another Venetian church called Teresa. Every morning a nun tours the church. She sweeps away those parts of the altars, friezes, archways, and sculptures which have turned to dust. All things suffer from time. But in Venice, the process of disintegration has become so speeded up as to be catastrophic. Art which has endured for centuries is disappearing. A painting becomes a threadbare canvas. Skill and effort restores some of these works, in this case a group of large Tintorettos. Foreign students even come to work here without pay. But the value of restoration is limited if the causes of decay persist. The survival of the entire city is in question. A city which is itself an elaborate work of art, constructed with time and skill and artifice, based on an intimate relationship between water and land. Beneath the houses, churches, and public buildings of Venice are millions of wooden piles sunk into the marshy land by the original Venetians. These have held up well over the years. They were arranged in a spiral pattern. Sometimes more than 1 million were sunk for a single building. Over the tops of these piles were laid a row of oak timbers. Then another row, at right angles to the first, and so on. Above this foundation of wood came the stones and bricks of Venice, of the rich and proud city-state of the High Renaissance. Secure from attack because of the water around it. the sea, of course, can be an enemy as well as a friend. Long walls of stone were constructed by the ancient Phoenicians to hold back the sea. For centuries, they have helped maintain the delicate balance between the Adriatic and the Venetian lagoon, a balance that keeps the lagoon from being overwhelmed by the sea, but still allows the sea tides to sweep the lagoon free of the city's refuse. Venetians have studied these tides carefully for 500 years or more, fully aware of the complex interrelationships. They diverted 2 rivers so their mouths wouldn't clog up with silt. They were careful to preserve the marshy flatlands scattered across the lagoon. The Venice of tradition is an intricate collaboration between nature and man. A collaboration which in our time has been violently broken. Today, industries dig deep wells to pump up the large quantities of fresh water necessary to their operations. The land sinks and the water level rises. The air, too, has been changed by the corrosive fumes pouring out of factory smokestacks and oil heating systems. Reacting chemically with the available moisture, they form sulfuric acid, which eats away at wood, metal, and stone, and particularly at marble. Exhaust from power boats adds heavily to the corruption of the air. Their waves wear away the masonry along the edges of the canals and force moisture high up into the stone structures. In times gone by, Venetians kept the larger ships out of the lagoon. Today, huge oil tankers go right through the old city. There is a plan to change this. Dredging is underway for a new deep channel in another part of the lagoon, far from St. Mark's and the other great buildings. But while this solves one problem, it may create another. The mud, clay, and silt which are pumped up fill in watery areas. The balance on which Venice has survived is further changed. More and more of the lagoon is filled in. The land mass expands and becomes increasingly solid. Here, there is a huge parking lot for the commuters who continue on their way by boat. Here, a growing island of garbage. The land is spreading out and obliterating the lagoon. Plans for the future are even worse. In recent years, the water level in Venice has been rising rapidly. Throughout the fall and winter months, large areas are flooded, just on ordinary days. This is the price the Venetians pay for the deep wells and the gradual filling in of the lagoon. More or less, they have learned to live this way. But when a big storm hits now, it is a disaster. This is ecological imbalance. This is an environment gone wrong. Stormwaters smash the old seawalls, and these are allowed to lie in disrepair. Between sea and lagoon, which function so well. The cleansing action of the sea does not operate as it used to, and the garbage simply accumulates. Meanwhile, more waste is dumped into the lagoon than ever. Oil spilled from the tankers keeps oxygen from entering the water, effectively killing underwater life. The fish which can still be caught are often too oil polluted to eat. Fishing was a vigorous industry in the old Venice. Changes like this, changes which have not worked with the environment, but against it, have caused many people to move away. And in fact, parts of Venice already suffer from severe depopulation. The question is it still possible for man to cooperate with nature, to reestablish a balance, one that is suitable to our time, and so to save the Venice that we have known?